Welcome to TalkersToGeeks.com. Justin here. Today we're going to be reviewing Silent Hill, the short message. Now, as always, to give you a brief synopsis, so here we go. Following messages from her friend Maya, Anita finds herself at a crumbling apartment block, infamous for rumors of suicide. Drawn inside, Anita soon finds her sense of reality shattered as she encounters bizarre, otherworldly spaces haunted by a twisted monster. Maya's message was clear: can't leave till you find it. But what is it that Anita is really looking for? This story deals with a very heavy subject matter such as child abuse, suicidal thoughts, death, and it does a more modern take on social media, the effects of social media, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on my final thoughts, but I want to keep the story vague as possible because it really is a good experience from a story standpoint. So I want to talk a little bit about the gameplay, and it's very simplistic. If you have been playing ever since PT, I really truly believe started this FPS craze or just a whole bunch of PT clones afterwards. And Silent Hill, the short messages, follows kind of the same premise of PT when it comes to the first person perspective. You picking up items to trigger a certain event. If you played first person horror games before, then you played Silent Hill, the short message. It follows the same type of gameplay beats when it comes to first person. You're in a dark lit type of environment. You usually either have a flashlight, in this case, cell phone, due to the modern age of the story, and you got to find documents or items that would trigger either a cutscene, a jump scare, or the next type of time warp aesthetic that will keep you guessing towards the end when it comes to the terms of the story. The game is very simple. It's more of a walking simulator compared to other first person horror games. There are some puzzles in here, very easy actually. There's a constant chase sequence after, you would say, each chapter. There's 3 chapters in all. There's a constant chase sequence after each chapter. And the chase sequence goes of you going through various corridors, you having to run from whatever this monster is. And I'll show you a clip of what I mean right here. You running from various corridors, and you have to make sure that you go through the right door or trigger at the right moment, because if the monster catches up to you during these chase sequences, you have to start all over like Groundhog Day. It's not a bad game at all. In fact, because the story is so strong here, it really kind of helps the simplicity of this gameplay. Now, fans who are expecting a true Silent Hill experience, the veterans, you might be disappointed with this, because think of it as this is Silent Hill being introduced to more of a younger crowd, somebody like probably 17, 18, not somebody that's our age, like in our late 30s, who grew up playing Silent Hill. This is more of a modern take on it. Obviously you see her with cell phones. There's a whole story regarding social media, anxiety, depression, things that this generation deals with on a daily basis. And that's where the gameplay is actually reflecting. Now, in terms of graphics, I really did enjoy the graphics. The graphics is gorgeous. Had a couple little frame rate dips from here and there, nothing too game breaking, especially in one of the chase scenes where there was a lot of things going, even on the PS5. It stuttered just a bit. It's nothing game breaking at all, something I just noticed. But one thing I do have to say is that they still capture the spirit of PT and the fog in Silent Hills. One, if they were going to have fog in here, and yes, they did. They definitely included fog in here. And the fog looks gorgeous. It looks creepy. Atmospheric wise, the game is on point. It does great use of lighting, great use of just the way the design of this building is. It gives you that real abandoned building feel here, as you can see. And it does set the tone and set the atmosphere of the game. Now, I really did like the way the aesthetics look in here, especially this room here where all the artwork here. I'm not going to tell you why there's so much graffiti, so much art. You have to play it for yourself. But I think the graphics did a really good job. I think the lighting did a good job. The frame rate holds up for the most part. And I thought the production of it looks good. It's a standard FPS horror game that we should see on a PS5.
Emily doesn't
Now
get
here's
it.
some sound.
Gotcha. So you don't really like this place. I get it. People in this town see graffiti as nothing but trashy doodles. And my classmates talk about me. Might not be a bad idea to leave town, actually. The great thing about graffiti is the world's your canvas. And as long as I'm with you, I can have fun anywhere.
There's no way out.
Now, in terms of sound, the acting wasn't that bad. I thought it was a little bit of a weird choice to go with an English dub here, especially when you're using a Japanese actress, and she's like, if you watch the interview, she's speaking full Japanese. I don't think she speaks English, so it was kind of a weird choice to dub this and only have the English dub option with it. And I thought that if they had a Japanese dub, it would kind of give it more of that Japanese horror aesthetic feel to it. But otherwise than that, I thought the acting performances was pretty good as well. The sound is great too. It has a really nice ambience type of sound here that we're kind of seeing a lot of. That really just kind of it's not more of a score, but it's just more of that dark, gritty type of somber sound where it's just really setting the mood, and it's kind of using the sound of the music kind of capsulates or captures, I should say, the environment more compared to like what a basic score might actually sound. But overall, I really did like Anita's performance in here. I did like some of the performances of the other actresses as well. I thought they did a really good job of really selling the sense of depression, dread, hopelessness. These are some of the things that this game tackles. Guilt, the way guilt is here was really, really well done in terms of acting. And I thought for the most part, it does a solid job. Not the best, but it does a solid job here. So let me give you my final thoughts on Silent Hill, the short message. The gameplay is pretty basic. It's more of a walking simulator. I have to admit that. But the story grips you. I would say it's definitely worthy of the Silent Hill title here. Some people from what just seen, some complaints were that the story was too heavy-handed with its themes, which I do agree with. But you also gotta remember what type of era we're in, where things have to be kind of spoon-fed. No shot to the new generation, but it kind of had to be spoon-fed and has to be kind of played on the nose, and it can't be too complex and over the head. But I thought it did a really good job of getting the point across with its message of suicide, depression, and things of that nature. They constantly remind you and provide you with a suicidal hotline number. And I thought the story was really good. I'm gonna give this a solid B plus. The graphics was great. I love the story here. I thought the gameplay could have been had a little bit more puzzles, but it's a free 2 hour game. That's all it's gonna take is 2 hours. And for the most part, it's got me excited again for Silent Hill. So I'm curious to see where the future lies for this franchise. If the short message is an indication, I think we're gonna be in for a decent ride. I mean, heck, it's definitely it could be better than Homecoming in the previous in Downpour. So hey, this is Justin from TacosTheGeeks.com. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you for visiting the Tacos the Geeks. Later days.